It's January 1st. You're standing in front of a mirror looking at yourself with a mixture of hope and determination. This year will be different. This year, you'll finally lose the weight, save the money, wake up early, read more, drink less, be better. You make the promise, you mean it. And then, somewhere between January and March, it quietly dies. You don't announce the failure, you just stop. The gym membership gathers dust. The budget spreadsheet goes unopened. The alarm gets snoozed. Again and again. Until one day you realize you've become another statistic in a pattern so predictable, so universal, that it transcends culture, income, age, and geography. 92% of New Year's resolutions fail. Not in some countries, not for some people, everywhere, for almost everyone. This isn't a story about lazy people or weak-willed individuals. This is about the human brain confronting a system of change that fundamentally conflicts with how we're wired. From Tokyo to Toronto, from teenagers to retirees, from fitness goals to financial planning, the pattern repeats with mechanical precision. People set resolutions with genuine intention. They fail with predictable consistency. And the question isn't why people give up. The question is why we keep pretending this approach ever worked in the first place. Let's start with what happens inside your brain the moment you declare a resolution. When you say, I'm going to become a morning person, or I'm going to eat healthy, you're not just setting a goal, you're declaring a new identity. And your brain, which has spent years building neural pathways around your current identity, immediately registers this as a threat. Neuroscience shows us that the brain operates on prediction and pattern recognition. It has automated who you are based on thousands of repeated behaviors. When you suddenly announce you're someone different, your brain doesn't celebrate, it resists. This resistance isn't conscious. You don't wake up thinking, I'm going to sabotage myself today. Instead, your brain quietly steers you back toward familiar patterns. It makes the snooze button feel irresistible. It makes the salad seem less appealing than the pizza. It generates perfectly logical reasons why today isn't the right day to start. This is your brain protecting what it knows, defending the identity it has already built. Change feels dangerous at a neurological level, even when you consciously want it. Then there's dopamine, the neurotransmitter everyone misunderstands. We think dopamine rewards achievement, but that's not how it works. Dopamine spikes during anticipation, not completion. On January 1st, when you imagine your transformed future self, your brain floods with dopamine. You feel motivated, energized, unstoppable. But here's the problem. That feeling doesn't last. Dopamine drops once the novelty fades. By week 2, the anticipation is gone, the goal is still distant, and your brain, no longer getting its chemical reward, loses interest. You're not weaker than you were on January 1st. Your neurochemistry has simply returned to baseline. Motivation, it turns out, is a terrible foundation for lasting change because it's biologically designed to be temporary. This brings us to a hard truth about habits. Habits are not controlled by intention. They're controlled by automation. Your current behaviors, the ones you want to change, exist in your basal ganglia as automated routines. You don't think about checking your phone. You don't decide to stay up late scrolling. You don't consciously choose the elevator over the stairs. These behaviors run automatically, triggered by environmental cues and executed without conscious thought. A New Year's resolution tries to override automation with intention. And intention, no matter how strong, cannot compete with automation under normal conditions. It definitely cannot compete under stress, fatigue, or distraction, which describes most of modern life. Consider willpower, the thing people blame themselves for lacking. Willpower is not a character trait. It's a limited cognitive resource. Studies show that willpower depletes throughout the day as you make decisions, resist temptations, and manage stress. By evening, when you're tired and mentally drained, your willpower reserves are nearly empty. This is why people who resolve to eat healthy find themselves eating junk food at night. It's why morning workout plans die by February. It's not that they lack discipline. It's that they're trying to use a resource that runs out, expecting it to last indefinitely. Willpower is like a battery, it drains. And most resolutions require it to be fully charged all day, every day, forever. Now add the problem of vague goals. Get fit, save money, be more productive. These aren't goals. They're wishes and your nervous system doesn't know what to do with them. The brain needs specific, concrete actions. When you say get fit, your brain has no clear pathway. Does that mean lifting weights, running, yoga, how much, how often, when? The ambiguity creates decision fatigue before you even start. Each time you face the vague goal, you have to decide what it means, and each decision drains willpower. Specific goals create clarity, vague goals create overwhelm, and overwhelm leads to avoidance. Modern life makes all of this exponentially harder. You're not just fighting your biology, you're fighting an environment designed to distract you. Every notification is an interruption. Every social media scroll is a comparison. Every advertisement promises a shortcut. You're trying to build discipline in an ecosystem engineered for instant gratification. Your ancestors didn't have to resist a phone that buzzed every 5 minutes. They didn't have to compete with curated highlight reels of other people's success. They didn't have algorithms designed to hijack their attention. You do. And that makes sustainable behavior change not just difficult but structurally improbable. Then there's social comparison, which has become unavoidable. You resolve to get healthy, and your feed fills with people who already are. You commit to waking early, and you see others who have been doing it for years. Instead of inspiration, you feel inadequacy. Instead of progress, you see the gap between where you are and where others appear to be. This constant comparison doesn't motivate, it demoralizes. It makes your efforts feel insignificant. And when efforts feel insignificant, they stop. The cultural pressure doesn't help either. Every January, society insists you should reinvent yourself overnight. New year, new you. As if transformation happens on a calendar schedule. As if decades of habits can be erased because the date changed. This narrative sets people up for failure by creating unrealistic timelines. Real change is slow. It's incremental. It's often invisible for months. But culture demands immediate transformation, and when that doesn't happen, people assume they've failed. They haven't. The timeline was always a lie. Let's talk about real life. Someone resolves to go to the gym 5 times a week. Week 1, they go 4 times, they feel great. Week 2, work gets busy, they go twice. Week 3, they catch a cold, they don't go at all. By week 4, the habit is broken, they feel like they failed, but they didn't fail. The resolution failed them. It didn't account for illness, stress, workload, or the reality that life is unpredictable. The resolution demanded perfection in an imperfect world. Or consider the budget resolution. Someone decides to save $500 a month. January goes fine, February their car breaks down, unexpected expense. The budget breaks, they feel defeated. They stop tracking, but the problem wasn't their discipline. The problem was a rigid system with no flexibility for life's inevitable disruptions. The resolution couldn't bend, so it broke, or sleep schedules. Someone resolves to sleep by 10 p.m. every night. The first week they manage it. The second week a friend's birthday runs late, they stay up. The pattern breaks. They think they've lost momentum, so they stop trying. But the issue wasn't the one late night. The issue was treating behavior change like a streak that dies the moment it's interrupted. Here's what all these examples reveal. Resolutions fail because they try to change behavior without changing systems, identity, or environment. They ask people to use willpower to override automation. They demand consistency from motivation, which is temporary. They set vague goals that overwhelm the nervous system. They ignore biology, context, and the reality of human life. They place the entire burden on the individual as if personal determination can overcome structural and neurological obstacles. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. People don't fail resolutions. Resolutions fail people. The entire concept is flawed. It assumes change happens through declaration and discipline. But neuroscience tells us change happens through environment design, identity shifts, and systems that make desired behaviors automatic. It happens through small, repeatable actions that gradually rewire the brain. It happens slowly, inconsistently, imperfectly. It doesn't happen because a calendar flipped. So here's the question you should be asking. Not why did I fail, but why did I ever think this approach would work? What if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the idea that transformation should start on January 1st, driven by motivation, sustained by willpower, and completed by December 31st? What if we've been sold a model of change that contradicts everything we know about how humans actually change? And what if, instead of trying harder next January, we stopped participating in a system designed to fail?